Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a closer look at Kentucky Derby Contender Angel of Empire, a horse that might be flying somewhat under the radar going into Churchill Downs, despite having won two major Derby preps. Let's watch his victory in the Arkansas Derby. And this is very easy. He made a swooping move on the turn. He gets to the front and he puts this field away very quickly, Mike, and his buyer improved to a career best 94. There might be some more upside left in this relatively lightly raced son of Classic Empire.
Yeah, won't be surprised if there is, Dan. He does win this race very easily. Now it's not one of the stronger Derby prep fields, I don't think. And you're going to see, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them there bunched up for the leftovers behind Angel of Empire. But this horse left no doubt in that race, Dan. He made an early move. He had that thing taken over by the time that field came into the upper stretch, and he just went on with it. That's his second consecutive prep race over 9 furlongs as well. It feels like distance is no problem for this horse. And you just have to really like his running style. He comes from off the pace a little bit, but he's never too far away, and he puts in a pretty big finish in his races.
I think it's important that he's had 2 9-furlong races to get him ready for the Kentucky Derby. Horses like Practical Move and Forte have been incrementally stretching out from 1 1/16 to 1 1/8. Angel of Empire, very comfortable at 1 1/8. Now, he came into the Arkansas Derby with some questions to answer. He did win the Risen Star 2 starts back. That race just sort of felt like maybe the pace fell apart a little bit and he took advantage. I didn't think that was the case in the Arkansas Derby. He was much the best.
It definitely wasn't the case last time. He got good trips in both of those races. Certainly the Risen Star, I guess you would say, set up a little bit better for him. I personally didn't think it was a total meltdown race, but it was a race where closers certainly had a real chance at it. They set the race up very well for them. And that was another race where Angel of Empire got a really good trip in. He was never in any traffic. He was clear in the stretch, and he finished up very well to win that day. I thought we saw more of the same and that Arkansas Derby that we just watched. Again, I just really appreciate his running style because he's never too far away from the pace, but he still finishes big.
Luis Saez was aboard in the Risen Star. Flavien Prat was aboard in the Arkansas Derby. He's had 5 different jockeys and 6 lifetime starts. The only time he was off the board was on turf. He really has not run a bad race on the dirt. How much does he have to improve to make you really want to consider this horse? Let's say if he goes off at the 12-1, 15-1 range.
He doesn't have to improve at all to get me interested in it because I'm already interested in him. I think he's one of the horses that I'm, at this stage, we're still a few weeks away, but one of the horses I'm taking very seriously in the Kentucky Derby. He has improved with every single dirt start of his career so far, including that one that we just watched. I think he got up to a 94 buyer that day. I mean, he's still a little bit light. He's going to have to take another step forward in the Derby. But again, there aren't really that many fast horses out there right now, Dan. It's not like he has a ton of ground to make up. And he has sort of all the other intangibles that I want to see for a horse in the Derby, who probably is going to be a fair price.
He has a very nice acceleration, which I think is going to prove helpful if he can get to the outside and in the clear on the turn. And he finishes up with stamina and speed. I agree with you. I think this horse has a good amount of upside for Brad Cox, who came into this season loaded with 3-year-olds, and maybe Angel of Empire surprised everyone associated with Cox, or even fans of the Cox 3-year-olds, by becoming one of the better ones. He's coming into the Kentucky Derby in very good form and might be peaking at the right time.